A burning Iranian oil tanker has sunk 8 days after a collision off the coast of China. The vessel suddenly submerged. Rescue teams had recovered 2 of the crewmen's bodies, but another 30 are still unaccounted for. Chinese authorities say they're working to contain the spreading oil from the wrecked ship. The tanker was carrying 136 tons of crude oil to South Korea.
There is almost nothing left of the oil tanker Sanchi, save for 10 square kilometers of water on fire and black smoke burning up to 3 kilometers into the sky. Rescue workers have recovered the bodies of only 3 crew members. The other 29 remain missing. Our reporter Li Jianhua at the Shanghai Maritime Bureau earlier on Sunday said rescue operations will continue.
3 bodies have been found and 2 of them were returned to Shanghai, and then a black box has also been retrieved. We're still waiting for the information after the assessment of the box. Chinese authorities, the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi earlier said that China will do whatever it can as long as there is a slice of hope.
Sanchi had 32 crew members on board, 30 Iranians and 2 Bangladeshis. On January the 6th, it collided with Hong Kong freight ship CF Crystal on the East China Sea and caught fire. Sailors on board the Chinese ship were all rescued. Over a dozen Chinese vessels, as well as 2 South Korean ships, were dispatched, but rescue operations were hampered due to bad weather and the fierce fire. Rescue workers for days searched the waters nearby till before the Sanchi exploded and sank on Sunday afternoon.
We can see Sanchi tanker has completely sunk. Nothing but debris and oil are still burning. A 10 square kilometers oil belt has been formed. It was only 3 square kilometers 2 days ago. It is a very serious situation.
Investigation into the collision is underway, but environmental experts are more worried about the aftermath.
Now that the tanker has sunk, what comes next to the ecological system, the government should watch very closely. They could face an oil spill and deal with toxic materials emissions.
The sunken oil tanker was carrying almost 1 million barrels of condensate, a highly flammable oil-based fuel. It evaporates quickly when exposed to air, but an explosion has the potential to produce much more toxic fumes, which will cause respiratory problems. Furthermore, there is the risk of the ship's own fuel leaking as well. 3 ships have been deployed for cleanup and containment work, but it is unclear how much condensate has been spilled.
An Iranian oil tanker that collided with the Chinese freighter in the East China Sea on Saturday is reportedly still on fire as rescue boats struggle to locate 32 missing sailors. Benjamin Hall is live from our London bureau with more. Benjamin.
Yeah, hi Melissa. 3 days since this tanker crashed in the East China Sea, experts now getting very worried. There are 1 million barrels on board, and if they explode, if they spill, this could become one of the worst ecological disasters in 25 years anywhere in the world. The Chinese government have come out and said that as of yet there is no sign of a large-scale oil leak, and also that the ultralight oil which had spilled was burning off and evaporating. But if they can't get this fire under control and that tanker explodes, the oil will leak at the bottom of the ocean and could devastate the local ecosystem, potentially making it one of the worst spills in history. It is sadly also now presumed that the tanker's crew of 32 is dead. The crash happened about 160 nautical miles offshore to the east of Shanghai, but strong winds are dragging the tanker away from the Chinese coast, making it more difficult. The Panama-registered tanker was sailing from Iran to South Korea, carrying $60 million of Iranian oil. It collided with a cargo ship carrying grain from the US. The crew of that ship are safe, and experts fear now that unless the fire is brought under control, this could get a lot worse. But at the moment, there's very little that can be done. Toxic gases, poisonous smoke and the high seas are making it incredibly difficult to salvage anything, and so they're resorting to firing water cannons from a long distance. So that for the moment is all they can do, and this could still yet become one of the worst disasters we've seen in decades.
Rescuers are faced with multiple obstacles. The Chinese government has attached great attention to this marine accident and has dispatched a number of search and rescue vessels to the site. Although, to our knowledge, the marine and weather conditions now are adverse or very unfavourable to the search and rescue work. Rescuers now fear the vessel could sink or, even worse, explode.
The Sanchi was carrying 136,000 tonnes of condensate. This is an ultralight type of crude oil, and it's used in aviation and vehicle fuels. It's low in density and is highly flammable, but also harder to see with the naked eye when mixed with water.
In the past, spillages of thick black crude oil have had a devastating impact on the environment. Cleaning up condensate would throw up different challenges.
If it explodes, then it means the entire load will go into the sea. And once it does that, it's not like a normal oil spill, which is, I won't say easily picked up, but it can be picked up. In this case, this very light fraction will stay at the surface. It's difficult to remove from the surface. It's dangerous to remove from the surface because it is so flammable. In fact, the best thing to do with it, ironically, is to let it burn.
It remains unclear just how the two vessels collided, though poor weather was reported at the time of the impact. For now, all hopes are on the hull of the Sanchi remaining intact.